everyone, welcome to card number 6. So I'm starting off with the stamp image from the Paper Smooches Pretty Mama stamp set and a scrap of white cardstock that I used my embossing buddy on. Mine is from Stampin' Up. I'm going to link to one that you can also get from Simon Says Stamp. Other companies make them. I think the one I'm going to link to is made by Recollections. It's all the same thing. Anyway, I use that to prevent the embossing powder from sticking to other areas of the cardstock. And I stamped the image with Brilliance Graphite Black ink, and then I'm just using clear embossing powder. This one's also from Stampin' Up. Stampendous also makes really good embossing powders. And so do a lot of other companies, I think. American Crafts makes some good ones too. Anyway, the reason why I'm using clear with black ink is it makes way less of a mess than just black embossing powder. I can't stand black embossing powder, so I don't use it at all. I find this is just cleaner and easier. So once I've got all the embossing powder melted and it's shiny, I'm just using my detail scissors to cut out the image. And then I'm using my Mind's Eye Lime Twist Life of the Party pattern papers for the card. Something a little kind of out of the norm. These are a little like brighter and more graphic than what I'd normally use for Mother's Day cards. And then I matted the main little image with an oval die cut from Regal Rose cardstock and then a scalloped oval from black. And I didn't like how white everything was, so I took my Shabby Shutters distress marker, just scribbled a bit on an acrylic block, and then picked it up with a watercolor brush and just lightly went around the image, trying not to get the paper too wet because this isn't watercolor paper. So it could pill if you got it too wet and went around it too much. So once that was done, I just used my little Heart Attack tool to scrape along the edges just to rough it up a bit, since the oval itself isn't like a perfect oval, and cutting it out and I thought it would just add a little bit of extra texture. So once I've got everything adhered, I want to mat the little pattern paper strip with white. So then I pulled out my Martha Stewart scallop punch to add a little bit of something to it as well. So I scalloped both edges with the punch, and then I'm going to adhere that to the pattern paper in a minute, but I want to add a sentiment. So I chose the Mom sentiment from my All About Mom stamp set. And I still wanted a little bit of an elegant touch to the card, but nothing too crazy. So ink that up with the Versa Magic, or Versa Fine Onyx Black ink, stamp that down, and then get everything adhered together. And once I've got that adhered, I want to add a little bit of ribbon. So I'm just using some AmyR's satin ribbon and tie that in a bow. And then I'm going to add a little bit of embellishment. So I chose the butterfly from the Pretty Mama stamp set. I inked it up with a VersaFine and stamped it onto some scraps of the Life of the Party paper, and then just trimmed it out with scissors. And then just add a little bit more definition. I went in with the Barn Door distress marker and just colored all the little scallops and the body of the butterfly, and then just added a little tiny bit to the wings, just to give it that extra something, but it's kind of up to whatever. Anyway, I ended up doing 3 of those. And then for the little main image of the card, I popped that up on dimensional so it stuck out a little bit more. Just like so. And then decided kind of where I was going to add the butterflies. And then I just used my Tombow Monomulti liquid adhesive and just applied that just to the bodies of the butterflies, and then adhered them down just like that so that the wings kind of stuck up a little bit. And then I felt it needed just a little bit more embellishment, so I grabbed my Kaiser Craft pearls, which have just been sitting on my desk while I'm doing all these Mother's Day cards. That's why I keep using them. And I just kind of alternated. I started with a larger one, a smaller one, and then went to the smallest and just added 3 of them to the card. And then finally flip it over, put tape over the backs of the ribbons so that the ATG adhesive doesn't catch on it. Apply my adhesive, and then I'm going to mat this with a piece of black cardstock. And then once that's down, I'm going to adhere that to the card, which is, again, Stampin' Up's the Regal Rose cardstock. And then for the inside, I used some of the same pattern papers, and then I stamped the Happy Mother's Day sentiment onto a strip of the same color I used for the butterflies, and then adhered that onto the little green pattern strip, just like so. And then finally, I added another oval and scalloped oval for a place to write a message. Oh, again, I can't talk today. Oh my goodness. So, and then finally added the 3rd little butterfly to the inside, and I'm going to adhere that to the card, and that's all there was to it. So as always, there will be a link to my blog post with links to all the supplies used. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm glad to know that you guys are enjoying these videos, and I try to respond to all the comments and appreciate every single one of them. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!